Now we are going to discussing about solid state NMR. Okay, this is the solid state NMR. Means here we are taking the Benjamin structure, right? Benjamin. In solid state NMR means we are going to take sample in solid and record the NMR spectroscopy. Then that such type of spectra is known as solid state NMR. If we are record the spectra in solid, the sample will be in solid, then such type of spectra is known as solid state NMR technique. Okay, if the sample is taken in liquid, then we are record the spectrum, then such type of spectra is known as solution state NMR. Generally solid state NMR is less favored compared to solution state NMR because of these problems. Means here there are problems are there in solid state NMR, means these problems will be evolved in solid state NMR, whereas liquid state NMR these problems will be averaged out and we get a narrow signal. See how they will be. And because of these problems, anisotropic effect, dipolar coupling and longer relaxation period, and all these effects are associated with immobility of molecules in solids. Okay, all these effects associated with immobility of molecules in solid state. And this is the solid structure of Benjamin. This is the solid structure of Benjamin and different orientation of these tiny crystals with respect to our external magnetic field. These are the different orientation, means, and this orientation will be very fixed due to this different orientation. The chemical shift value will be changes, and different orientation of tiny crystals with respect to external magnetic field. Each of these corresponds to, means this orientation will be corresponds to will a different frequency. These are will be resonate at a different frequency, and all these effects or all these effects will give, and the overall line spectra will be a very broad. Okay, that means once again these are the tiny, this is the Benjamin. Let us take an example for Benjamin. These are the tiny crystals, and these are the tiny crystals with a different orientation. When we are applying external magnetic field, these crystals will be, and these crystals will be different frequency. These crystals will be corresponds to different frequency. As a result, overall spectra will be very broad. Whereas in solution state, the molecules and the liquid molecules will be tumbled. So due to the tumbleness, and they will be very reorient themselves very quickly. And all these effects in liquid molecule, the molecules will be very tumbled. They do not be in fixed orientation. So they will be in liquids, they will be moved to here to here, here to here. But in solid state, they are very fixing. So all this due to this fixed orientation, the anisotropic effect and dipolar coupling and longer relaxation period will be evolved. Whereas in liquid state, due to the tumbleness of liquid molecule and reorient themselves very quickly, and all these effects, anisotropic effect, dipolar coupling and longer relaxation period effects average out to be zero in very short time, and therefore we'll get a very narrow signal for in liquid state NMR. If we are record the spectrum in liquid state, we get a very narrow signal because all these effects can be averaged out, and so we get a very narrow signal. Whereas in solid state NMR, due to the fixed orientation of these crystals, and it will be evolved as a anisotropic effect, dipolar coupling and longer relaxation period. In solid state, the broadening of signals can be resolved by different techniques. Okay, in order to remove these effects, we can apply some different techniques like anisotropy will be removed by anisotropic effect is removed by application of Morse technique, that means magic angle spinning. Okay, this is Morse technique. By the application of Morse technique, we can remove anisotropic effect, and by application of cross polarization, here by application of cross polarization we can remove dipolar coupling and longer relaxation period. In our syllabus we have this technique. We are discussing now. We are discussing about Morse technique. Okay, Morse. Once again, see here the anisotropic effect can be removed by using technique. The what is technique? Morse technique means magic angle spinning. Okay, magic angle. By the technique of magic angle spinning, we can easily remove by anisotropic effect. By the technique of cross polarization, we can easily remove dipolar coupling and longer relaxation period. Okay, and now Morse technique. This is magic angle spinning, and the Morse technique. The diagram will be, the process will be like this. Here, this is the Morse technique diagram, and in mathematical analysis, the shielding of protons or shielding will be come across a term. The shielding of the protons or any shielding regions are there na, then that will in mathematical analysis they will find a one term. That term is 3 cos square theta minus 1, where theta is the angle orientation of molecule, where theta is the angle of orientation of molecule with respect to our external magnetic field. Okay, where theta is the angle of orientation of molecule with respect to our external magnetic field. When if 3 cos square theta minus 1 becomes 0, when this term becomes 0, then magnetic anisotropy effect will be 0, means that will be resolved by magic angle technique. When, see once again, when 3 cos square theta minus 1 becomes 0, then the magnetic anisotropic effect will be eliminated. Okay, when this 3 cos square theta minus 1 becomes 0, then magnetic anisotropy also becomes 0. That means the magnetic anisotropic effect will be removed by this magic angle technique. And this is the ceramic rotor. In this we can take the sample. Okay, the sample in solid film, and the sample taken in a ceramic rotor. And here see once again, when this 3 cos square theta minus 1 becomes 0, means when we are fixing the theta equals to 54.7 degrees, then only the 3 cos square theta minus 1 becomes 0. Okay, the sample taken in a ceramic rotor and which is in solid form, and we are fixed 54.7 degrees, where theta equals to 54.7 degrees with respect to our external magnetic field. Okay, if we are, then what will happen? If this becomes the term, the cos square theta minus 1 term becomes 0, so you have to set the ceramic rotor with respect to our external magnetic field is with theta equals to 54.7 degrees. And the ceramic rotor will be spinning or spun due to this air turbine with a particular speed. Then after some time, the after some time, that means the term becomes, we are applying, what we are doing, we are taking the angle between this ceramic rotor and this our applied magnetic field is 54.7 degrees. That means the term becomes 0. So after some time the magnetic anisotropy will be falls to 0. Okay, after some time, due to the spinning of this spinning of the ceramic rotor, and it will be the, but the magnetic anisotropy of this sample will be becomes 0. So we can eliminate by the application of magic angle spinning, we can eliminate magnetic anisotropy effect in the solid, in the solid compound. This is the magic angle spinning. Okay, see how to remember only. When this 3 cos square theta minus 1 becomes 0, when this term, when the 3 cos square theta minus 1 becomes 0, when theta equals to 54.7 degrees, then this term will be 0. So when we are taking the ceramic rotor, means if the sample taken in ceramic rotor and we are applying, this is the applied magnetic field, this up, if we are, the ceramic will be, rotor set will be set into applied magnetic field with a theta, that means the theta must be equal to 54.7 degrees, then only the magnetic anisotropic effect will be eliminated. And this is the technique of magic angle spinning. And magic angle spinning is also known as magic resonance MR, magic angle resonance. Magic angle spinning is also known as MAR, means magic angle resonance. This is the technique of MAS. This is the MAS technique, right? And now the application, that is C13 NMR of substituted phenylalanine solid. This is this is the alanine molecule, we know that this is alanine. One hydrogen is replaced by phenyl group, so this is the substituted. One hydrogen is replaced by phenyl, so substituted. It means there are 2 substitutions present, that's why it is a substituted phenyl alanine solid, that is nothing but L-dopa. And without, when we are recording this C13 NMR spectroscopy of this L-dopa molecule, then without application of MAS technique, then we get a broad signals. So broad signals and distortion signals also will be takes place without application of magic angle spinning technique. Okay, because of there is a magnetic anisotropic and dipolar couplings also takes place, that's why it will be, signals will be very broad and distortion signals also takes place without application of MAS technique. But by the application of MAS technique, we get 4 signals, because we get 4 signals because they are in this molecule there are 4 types of carbons are there. Here we are not recording the NMR spectroscopy, how to remember. Now we are recording C13 NMR spectroscopy. So C13 NMR spectroscopy will recognize only carbon atoms. So here see how many number of carbons are there, how many types of carbons. Okay, this is 1 type carbon, this is 2nd type, and this is 3rd type, and these phenyl rings is there now. These all are will be 1 type of carbon atoms. Okay, and these are also different, but it will be, you have to consider as only one type of signal. That is means here you have to take 4. Okay, so this for in C13 NMR spectroscopy, this chemical shift values range up to 0 to 240 ppm is there. You have to remember this range. Whereas H1 NMR 0 to 20, where C13 you have to remember 0 to 240 ppm will be there. For acidic protons, these are the, for these acidic protons the chemical shift value will be range up to 180 to 200. So you have to take the 200. This is the COOH. This the chemical shift values of this carbon atom, and where the ring protons will be existed based on nearly 100 to 120 130 will be there based on the electronegativity and electron withdrawing groups. Based on the electronegativity and withdrawing groups, the chemical shift value will be varies. You have to remember the chemical shift values for phenyl rings, ring carbons, 100 to 220, 240, nearly. You have to remember 100 to 240 will be there for the phenyl ring carbons, right? This is the phenyl ring carbon, answer ring carbons. Again, for the chemical shift values will be, for this type of proton will be 20. Sorry, not a proton, I am also doing mistake. This is this carbon, we are doing C13, right? That's why it will be record only carbon atoms. This carbon will be 20. Generally the methyl groups will be 10 to 30 ppm will be there. Based on this electron releasing group, it will be 20, whereas this methyl group will be 10. Okay, you have to remember the chemical shift values will be there in third semester. We have C13 NMR spectroscopy. We will be get more idea about C13 NMR spectroscopy. So first you have to remember only when the phenyl rings will be existent 180 to 180, 190, 200. The acidic carbon will be 200 ppm and the phenyl rings will be 100 to 140 will be there based on the electronegativity and electron withdrawing groups. So you have to remember the chemical shift range will be first carbon atom for the phenyl carbons. Okay, then this for methyl group will be 10 to 30 will be there. The chemical shift value for this carbon atom for methyl type of carbons is there na, then that type of chemical shift value for this type of groups 10 to 30 will be there. Okay, without Morse technique there will be a distort or broad signals will be appeared, whereas by application of Morse technique we can recognize which type of carbon atoms are there. Here the 4 types of carbon atoms are there. That's why it will give C13 spectra of this, give 4 signals. This is the C13 spectra of substituted phenyl alanine solid. That is nothing but L-dopa molecule. Thank you.